What your company does is it leases solar panels to homeowners.
Correct.
Those people, your company puts the panels on the roofs of those people's houses. Those people don't pay any capital cost. They pay you effectively as their electricity provider, and that's how you monetize your business.
Exactly.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right.
And so fundamentally, and consumers are, again, as I mentioned, signing up for this, 1 million already and growing. And what's happening is that the home only on average uses about 70% of that power. So 70% of the power is consumed at the home. About 30% of it flows back into the grid. The framework we've used in this country predominantly is that homeowner should be credited at the retail rate when that energy flows back into the grid, because it flows to the neighbor. It's much cheaper for the power to go to the neighbor than it is to come from
I have a house and I buy my power from you for less than I would pay if I bought power from the grid. That's why I buy power from you. Yeah?
Correct.
And I sell it back into the grid at a higher price than I have paid you for it, because I'm being paid prevailing. That's a pretty sweet deal if it lasts. So is it going to last?
So here's the issue. Absolutely, absolutely. We in this country are building not in Nevada. Yeah, and so let's talk about this and how we can sort of resolve this. So first of all, many people will say, shouldn't that customer pay their fair share? Well, actually, when you look at
fair share of what?
The grid.
Okay.
When you look at the studies, what happens is you actually see that at our penetration levels, when we put home solar onto the grid, it strengthens the grid. It saves money for all customers. And many of the studies and all the independent studies have shown that. And so when you look at and when you poll the American people, and there was a utility trade group that just did a study that said, what should consumers be compensated, solar customers, how should they be compensated for energy that flows back to the grid? 80% of Americans said at retail rate or higher, So I think where this goes is, and what people realize again is we need to build a modern infrastructure. That's going to have decentralized components and centralized components. A two-way flow of energy is the way to do that. That's how we got the internet. And so what we're going to do, like in places like California, is figure out how to use the rate structures to appropriately incentivize the deployment of energy. And so what we're doing in California, and I think a lot of other places will see this, and in New York, and in Massachusetts, is to say, let's preserve this net metering at the retail price, and let's figure out how to set our rates so that, hey, if the grid really needs power at 2 p.m., you're getting paid more for the power that's exporting there. And I think that's how it plays out. What happened in Nevada is a blocking progress, period. What happened in Nevada was the state of Nevada, the legislator said, we want this thriving rooftop solar market. Come on in. Here's a rebate. We came in, we built jobs, the rebate went away, we're still thriving. Customers signed up, 17,000 customers signed up. People are knocking down the doors for this, they want this. Then the utility commission said, you know what, we're gonna just change the rate on what we're gonna pay for customers' power that flows back to the grid. We're gonna pay you 2 cents a kilowatt hour for the power that flows back to the grid that goes to your neighbor.
Retroactively.
But retroactively, we're gonna pay you 2 cents, homeowner, but we're going to charge that neighbor 12 cents. That's what happened there. That will not stand the test of time.